there's something that people should be doing every day that we're not doing to help our health, overall health, our immune system.
Yeah. They shouldn't be worried about parasites because that whole thing's a fraud. So the whole parasite game is a fraud. Big time.
Wow. Why?
Because,
explain it.
Yeah, I'll explain it a little bit. If you get a parasite, it doesn't live with you on a monthly, yearly basis for years, keeping you sick. You get a parasite and you're the parasite. That's it. You die or the parasite dies. So people get parasites all the time, but they gets killed off by their own body all the time. You go to a restaurant, you get a bad meal, you barfed one time, you got some diarrhea, you got a parasite of some kind. You got foodborne illness, you got a parasite. You got a toxic foodborne illness. 5 days later, you're feeling better, you're cleaned up, you barfed a couple of times, you're getting back into action, it got killed off. If it stays there, you barf and barf and barf. It doesn't get killed off yet. You barf, you barf, you barf until you die. You end up in a hospital, you're on, a salt bag. They're like, well, we don't know. It could be E. coli, sir. We don't know what it is. What did you last eat? What happened? What's going on? And you're just in agony. And then they pump morphine in you because you can't handle the pain. That's a parasite, but you're the parasite. You live without it or you die with it. That's how it works. People die all the time from parasites, but you can't have it both ways. You can't be living with one and sick with one for 10 years. You can't be. It's either you or the parasite. That's just how it works, right? So what are people living with? Viruses, shingles viruses, Epstein-Barr viruses, cytomegaloviruses, HHV-6, HHV-7, HHV-9, HHV-10 through HHV-16, Simplex-1, Simplex-2, different varieties of Simplex-1, Simplex-2, strep, lots of different varieties of strep. They're living with all of this. And they're living with it for years. They get the thyroid nodules. That's from Epstein-Barr. They get all these different problems. That's fibromyalgia. They get autoimmune. That's from Epstein-Barr. Shingles, HHV-6. And they live this life with viruses because you can live with stealth viruses for years with no problem. You can live a whole lifetime and be sick on Mattress Island, like bedridden for 30 years, 50 years with viruses, pathogens, but not with parasites. But what happened is parasite game. It's an easy one to sell people. You got parasites. That's what it is. And here, maybe you got this kind of, maybe you got trichinella, maybe you got this kind of parasite. And they're doing it to sell all the parasite cleanses and parasite products. It's another way to game the system. And that's what's happening. It's another kind of variety of fraud. And it's rampant. And people are buying into it. And that's the sad part. And you know what they'll do? They'll poach some medical medium information with it. They'll put lemon balm in it or something, or cat's claw, which is info. Those are antivirals. So they'll take a couple of those things and stick it in a parasite formula and start gearing the parasite formula more to medical medium information, which actually heals people with Lyme disease and other problems. And then they'll kind of trick people out that way. But either way, they're still screwing them over by saying, here's a parasite formula. And get rid of your parasites. No, you don't have a parasite. Now, worms are different. Worms are entirely different. Worms are separate from parasites. Worms don't necessarily ever kill you. A big old fat tapeworm, it gets too out of control. I mean, that can bring you down. But all the other basic worms, they're not killers. And people are loaded with worms and live healthy lives till they're 80, till they're 90, meaning they have other problems.
Yeah.
And they're shitting out worms and they're pushing out pinworms and they got different kinds of, different varieties. They got liver flukes from time to time. They can get worms, but worms don't stick you in the hospital on morphine with an IV saying to the doctor, you're in so much agony. I'm in so much agony. You have to cure me, doctor, please. And that's different. Those are parasites that are like either you live or you die kind of parasite. So
worms, you shouldn't be worms are not dangerous.
They're not. No, they're not.
Parasites are saying they'll either you'll live with them or you get killed by them.
So you either have to
kill them.
Kill them.
Yeah.
Meaning like fast. So if you're in a restaurant, you just picked up a couple of
like
parasites.
A food,
You just ate some shrimp.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you get like sick from it.
Yeah, now you're in the hospital.
Right. So you'll kill them off fast and you're done. Or if they live with you, you'll die from them.
You'll eventually die from them because you'll get dehydrated. You'll be in too much pain. You'll lay in a hospital bed and die. And guess how many people die with food poisoning? They keep it under wraps. Those stats aren't out there. They die all the time. They die at dinner tables. They die at tables in restaurants. They die in hospitals all the time. Foodborne poisoning, foodborne pathogens, meaning illnesses that are parasitical. But you can't live long term like that. It has to go away. It can't stay with you. You go down to Mexico, you drink some bad water, you have to heal within a timeline or you die. That's it. You lay in a Mexican hospital and you're on an IV and your body has to fight and fight and fight and fight while they got you on morphine drip. You have to fight and fight until you're freed from it and then you get out of the hospital. But a lot of times you fight. It doesn't stop. You're still puking. You puke yourself to death in the hospital while you're on an IV and on morphine. That's a parasite. You can't live with it long term. You can't. And so that's how it works.
So parasites and worms, I understand.
And why would I know all this? I'm such a genius.
Be cautious with the parasite world out there. Be cautious with parasite talk out there. They're taking medical meme information with all the viruses and everything else I've ever done, and now they're trying to jump on this whole, oh, it's parasitical, it's parasite. Take this parasite cure. Take this parasite cure. That's what's causing your illness. Parasites are not what's causing people's illness, but they can kill you and kill you quick. But it's either you or the parasite in the end. I talked about that in Medical Medium books and on the Medical Medium podcast. If somebody gets a parasite, and it's a parasite that doesn't die fast, because people get parasites all the time, foodborne parasites, foodborne illness, and their body kills it. A lot of weak parasites people get, and their body kills it in hours. Their body kills it in 10 minutes. Their body's hydrochloric acid kills the parasite. Okay? If it's a strong parasite and it doesn't kill easy and your HCl is low and it's foodborne because that's where they come from, food and waterborne, okay? And you get that parasite in you and you ingest it and it goes into your stomach and it starts to wreak havoc. You get real sick. You get, you got the diarrhea. You got the vomiting. You got the abdominal pain. You got the cramping. Sometimes that parasite will go after the appendix. Sometimes that parasite will go after the gallbladder. But you'll be hurting. And if the pain is too much and your body's immune system hasn't destroyed or killed off that parasite yet, you're going to suffer for days. Days and days and days. If you can't take on water, you can't drink fluid, you're getting dehydrated from diarrhea, from the runs, you're getting dehydrated from vomiting, or you just can't hold down food, and that parasite's wreaking havoc, you end up in the hospital. Now, it's you or the parasite. A strong parasite has to be killed or it kills you. Have to understand something. Parasites aren't why people are chronically sick for years. You can't live with a parasite for years. And don't get me wrong, worms are different. Worms are not parasites. Worms are worms. They mix that bag. People can live with worms, never even know, never even have a problem, never even have an issue. People can live with certain worms. Keep that in mind. So let's go back to the parasites. So you're in the hospital. They don't know what's wrong. They may say you got botulism. They may say you got E. coli, a dangerous version of it. In the end, they still don't really know. But they try to throw all these different things, like what it could be. Person's sick. They're on an IV drip. They're on morphine because they can't handle the pain anymore, and they're dying. They're dying from a parasite. It's kill or be killed with parasites. People don't realize this. That's not how it works with stealth viruses. And so what the people who used to be the Eat Better book people all these years, they decided to package everything up into parasite. So everything is going to be parasite cleanses, and they're going to talk about wormwood. Just because wormwood is called wormwood doesn't mean it's great for what's called parasites, which people don't even have unless they're dying in that moment from an acute attack of a parasite from foodborne illness or from bad water somewhere. So right now it's just one big head screw. So what you're going to see out there is people like, I could package up a parasite formula tomorrow. I mean, why am I talking bad about something? I could literally package it up. I could just be like, AW's Parasite Fix. And just package it up in a bottle and be like, AW's Parasite Fix right here. I'm a carpetbagger now. Everybody, it's the Parasite Fix. You know, I could do that. And people would be like, parasite, parasite, that's what's wrong with me. Parasite, parasite, that's what's wrong with me. And they'll buy the shit out of that Parasite Fix. And they'll just buy it. But that's not what's wrong with people. That's not what's wrong. But you get influencers, and you get podcast doctors, and you get people in the industry, in the health industry, that don't know why anybody got sick anyway. They don't even know. They don't even have a clue. They never did. They were just into Eat Better books in the old days, or they're brand new. They're 5 years into it, 4 years into it. They're brand new in the health scene, 6 years into it. They have a doctor title, but really, they've just got into alternative health just recently. And they're just thinking, yeah, maybe everything's parasites. Maybe that's what it is. And then they start creating these parasite formulas. And you'll notice in some of these parasite formulas, there'll be a little bit of a medical medium thing. You'll see a medical medium thing in it, another medical medium thing in it, another medical medium thing in it. They're all following medical medium stuff. They've all read the books. And they're a little bit of this, a little bit of this. And then they're like, we got the parasite formula. Meanwhile, you don't have parasites. If you went to a restaurant and you had a meal and you're dying that night or the next day, you caught a parasite. And it's you or the parasite, and it will kill you or you will kill it. And it has to happen pretty quick, within a couple of weeks. That's it. Has to happen fast is what it has to do, okay? And that's something that's really important to know. So, but what people do have is they have stealth viruses, and they have antibiotic resistant bacteria. They got strep. Usually strep, mostly. And they got the Epstein-Barrs and the different varieties of Epstein-Barrs. And then they got the Simplexes. And then they got the Cytos. And then they got the HHV-6s. They got all the HHV numbers, 1 through 7. And they got 2 or 3. They picked it up from somebody's drink. They picked it up from a sexual encounter. They picked it up on a doorknob. They picked it up in the grocery store going through the samplers. You know the samplers? Right? That's like, ooh, whoa, whoa, little cut pieces of cheese in there. That's amazing. Let me go and grab one of those. Yum. And now they got Epstein-Barr. It was on somebody's bloody finger with a Band-Aid all half-cocked on their finger because they were in there. So the stealth viruses are spread everywhere. They're spread all through universities and all through colleges. They're spread all through there. They're spread through high schools. And people get mononucleosis, and then they got Epstein-Barr, and then they're sick forever. And because they don't know how to fix it, they don't know what to do about it, their vagus nerve gets screwed up, they get anxiety, they get depression, they get all these problems. And then they don't know how to fix it. They've been to a lot of different practitioners and doctors, and then some jackass says, oh, it's a parasite. Take this parasite cleanse, and they buy this parasite bottle. Because they don't realize that, you know, it's this other stuff. It's really sad what's happening. So the parasite, you know, craze is going to be the craze, right? But what's stopping me from putting together like an AW parasite fix? What's stopping me? It's not a parasite problem. That's what's stopping me. Or how about this? What's stopping me from putting AW's methylene blue? Because this stuff sucks. It doesn't work. It's toxic. So, you know, it's all the craze right now. I could put out one tomorrow. and just sit there. Cha-ching, cha-ching, another sucker for methylene blue, cha-ching, cha-ching, another sucker for parasite fix, cha-ching, cha-ching. But I don't because it's bullcrap and it's sad. It's all sad. Anyway, all right. That's